Sports Network studio, Western New England's voice for sports. Your host, Marquez Lopez.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the 91 Sports Network show. As always, I am Marquez, your host, and we got a lot to unpack today. So let's jump right in and kick things off with women's college basketball. In the MAC, UMass lost to Toledo in the opening round of the MAC tournament, which unfortunately likely puts an end to what was a fantastic season for the Minutewomen, who finished the year at 23-7 in the first year in the MAC. This was a heartbreaker for them. Now, in the American East, Vermont beat UMBC in a 2-overtime thriller on Tuesday and will now face the Maine Bears on Friday for the American East title. Gotta love a good New England championship there. Now, in the MAAC, 25-seeded Fairfield beat Quinnipiac 51-44 on Monday to clinch their fourth straight MAC title behind Jillian Herder's 16-point night. Now, for those of you who recognize that last name, Jillian is indeed the sister of NBA guard Kevin Herder. Pretty cool factoid there. Now, in the Big East, and lastly, to nobody's surprise, the number 1 seeded UConn Lady Huskies beat Villanova by 39 points Monday to win their 6th straight Big East title and remain undefeated on the season. Now on to the men. In the Patriot League, Boston University lost by 14 points in the Patriot League final versus Lehigh on Wednesday. And in the American East, UMass Lowell lost 69-91 to UMBC in the tournament semifinal. But Vermont beat NJIT 63-54 on the other side of the bracket, which puts them in the American East final on Saturday versus UMBC. Now, both the men and women's Vermont basketball teams will be playing for an American East championship. It's pretty cool for the school. Let's go Catamounts. In the Big East, 6-seeded UConn beat Xavier 93-68 in the quarterfinals of the tournament and will play in the semifinal on Friday night. And last, and certainly not least, in the MAC, the UMass Minutemen come back from trailing double digits to upset the unbeaten 20th-ranked Miami of Ohio basketball team in the opening round of the MAC tournament. My, what an upset that was. What a thriller of a game that was. I had the luxury of following the game while on campus in a meeting, and damn was it exciting to root for a winning UMass program. Hell yeah. Congratulations to Frank Martin and the boys. The Minutemen will take on Toledo Friday at 5 p.m. with the chance to advance to the MAC final and earn the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Now, to note, the Minutemen have already beaten Toledo in conference play earlier this season. So you know I'm feeling good about this one. Let's go, UMass. Now onto the NHL. The Bruins' home win streak was snapped at 13 following a loss to San Jose on Thursday. This loss comes after a Tuesday overtime win for the Bruins behind a McAvoy overtime goal, which was really a thriller. Caught that one. The Bruins failed again to win back-to-back games for the first time since late January. This is a hockey team that just cannot string these wins together. And unfortunately, they're going to hover around that 8th seed until someone sneaks up and takes it over. So the Bruins have to string some wins together here. Hopefully they do that soon. Now on to the World Baseball Classic. The WBC continues on Friday with the opening of its single-game elimination quarterfinals. The action begins at 6:30 on FS2 with the Dominican Republic taking on Korea. And then again at 8 p.m. on Fox, the game of the night, people. Canada versus the U.S. And let me tell you, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't want to get on too much of a rant, but the U.S. really shit the bed against Italy. They really didn't take them serious. And you saw it in the body language. They played like their shit didn't stink. They did not take the Italian team serious. Nor did they show any awareness to the runs allowed ranking rule in the WBC. Now, albeit it is a little bit confusing. However, it's there. It's there. And if the coaches aren't expressing that to you, if they're not coaching you on that, that's their fault. Listen, the U.S. lacked urgency against Italy. They made bad plays and didn't even look pissed about them. I'm talking to you, Mitch Keller. I don't know how you can make a bad throw to second base and just turn around and cover the plate. That's not composure to me. That's lack of heart. That is lack of heart. But I must say, it sure was great to watch Aaron Judge end the game with a strikeout dealt to him by the Red Sox's very own Greg Weissert. Loved it. Action continues on Saturday beginning at 3 p.m. on FS1 with my Puerto Rican baseball team taking on the red-hot Italian squad. Let's hope someone steals their espresso machine. Carlos Beltran, Alex Cora, we need you. We need you. I know you know what I mean. And then the quarterfinals end at 9 p.m. on Saturday when Japan takes on Venezuela, which should be another great matchup. We're honestly in store for some fantastic baseball, guys. Some fantastic baseball here. All 4 of these games are worth watching, and I really hope you tune in. Now, I'm really curious, who do you all have to win it all? I'd really love for you to chime in on the comments wherever you stream this show, and let me know. All right, now on to the Celtics. The Boston Celtics had 2 potential NBA final matchups this week. First, at San Antonio on Tuesday, and then on Thursday at Oklahoma City. On Tuesday, the Celtics played the Spurs, and if you saw the game, you know the story. Jaylen Brown got ejected on a double technical after arguing a non-foul call. He thought he was fouled on the baseline, but got called for a turnover. Listen, I've seen it 20 times. He was pushed a little bit. But his flop was so much bigger, okay? The flop was so much more noticeable than the little push on the baseline, and Jaylen Brown lost his cool, man. I think he was more frustrated in the fact that he yielded all of this effort to flop, and not get the foul call than he was that he was actually pushed on the baseline. But whatever, bigger story. This was Tatum's 3rd game back from an Achilles tear and his first chance to be the alpha with Jaylen Brown out of the game. Yet he struggled from 3. He struggled from the three-point line again. He was 9 for 31 over these last 3 games. That's a 29% clip. That's not going to get the job done. And because of that, the Celtics lost. Now, I have a takeaway, and I think it's pretty obvious. And if you've seen my first show, you know what my takeaway is. Brown's the alpha. Brown can win without Tatum, but Tatum cannot win without Jaylen Brown, at least right now. Now, I get it. Tatum's coming back from a torn Achilles, okay? I don't think I can come back from a torn Achilles and walk up the stairs, personally. He's coming back from a torn Achilles and going in and playing an NBA game. This is a huge injury. I get it. Playing in an NBA game is different than shoot-around. It's different than practice. It's different than 3-on-3. You're playing in an NBA game. I get it. But if Jason Tatum is the alpha, or if he's going to be the alpha, then he needs to lead when it matters. And listen, Tatum may return to form, or we may only get 75% of him this season, which is what I lean towards happening personally. But the point, at the end of the day, Jaylen Brown is the most important and best player on the 2026 Celtics. Nothing's going to change it. You saw it. I saw it. Jaylen Brown's the alpha. Let's move over to Patriots signings. And let me tell you, the Elijah Vera-Tucker deal, absolutely horrible. He's literally quite the opposite of what the Patriots need. He's played in only 43 of 85 possible games in his career. Above all, the Patriots need availability, not unreliability. We signed him for 3 years, $42 million. I mean, good thing we took him from the Jets. Screw the Jets always. The Jets suck. But $42 million. Now, you hear a lot of analysts, they're touting the $250,000 per game bonus as if it's some kind of incentive for him to play. I'm not sure that's a good thing. That sounds counterproductive to me. We're going to incentivize a man who has missed 50% of the possible games that he can play in. We're going to incentivize him with money. We're going to incentivize him to play with money. That's not going to make him play better. That's going to make him play even when he's not healthy. It's going to make him play when maybe he shouldn't. Because who wouldn't want $250,000? Horrible deal. Horrible deal. I mean, it's very obvious that the Patriots need to fix that offensive line. They need to. The offensive line was the issue last year. But they need to fill it with guys who are going to play. Guys who you can rely upon. not more injury-prone offensive linemen. I give this signing a D-. And the only reason I'm not giving it an F is because of the long shot potential of Vera-Tucker being healthy. Because I will give it to him. When he is healthy, he is a damn good guard. But he's never healthy. Second signing to move on to, Reggie Gilliam. And listen to me when I say this. Fullback is not dead in New England, people. And now let me tell you why I grade the Reggie Gilliam signing with an A+ in one line. Reggie Gilliam led all NFL fullbacks in PFF run blocking grades last season. And he's played nearly 300 special team snaps in each of the last 5 years with Buffalo. And let me add, we stole him from the Bills. A+. We signed him for 3 years, $12 million, guaranteed him $6 million. That's $1 million more per year than core special teamer Brendan Schooler to literally play the same amount of snaps on special teams, but also be the best fullback in all of football. What a deal. You know, the Patriots had a need, and they filled it. The Patriots used a tight end at fullback 15% of the times last season, and blocking all around was terrible. Gilliam will be vital for run support and special teams leadership all around. This is an A+ signing. It's unsexy, but personally, it's one of the best signings in all of free agency thus far. Now, third, we're moving on to Dre'Mont Jones. He got 3 years, $39.5 million. If you're counting, that's $43 million less than what they gave Christian Barmore just a year ago. Now, we know the Patriots had a great defense last year, but they struggled to rush the passer. The secondary was great. The linebackers were great. The defensive line could stop the run, but they could not get after the passer. A lot of that had to do with Harold Landry being hurt too, but they just could not get after the passer. Now, a guy like Dre'Mont Jones, who's been in the league for some time, had his career-high sack total last season, and the best part about his game is he's versatile. But the best thing about him is his reliability. He's played in 90% of possible games over the course of his career. That is something you cannot undervalue. Availability, right? Because what did Bill Belichick say? The best ability is availability. I mean, that goes for anything. That goes for anything in life. If you're not available, you're not useful. Dre'Mont Jones has been available 90% of his NFL career. This is a great signing for the Patriots. Right now, I give it a B. But there's room for that grade to go up depending on future moves. Most importantly, what happens with Christian Barmore. Which leads me to the question. Is Christian Barmore out of New England? Absolutely. But it won't be until after June 1st. A post-June 1st cut saves $11.5 million on the cap for the Patriots. A post-June 1st trade saves $13.5 million. Listen, Christian Barmore is a good player. He's a great player. He's productive. But he's unpredictable. Health-wise, with his antics, availability, he's just way too unpredictable, especially for the amount of money he makes. So, yes, I think the Patriots are moving on from Barmore, though they'll need to address depth beyond him. But you can't give somebody $20 million a year to be a rotational defensive lineman. So depth will be something that they worry about in the draft. I think Christian Barmore is as good as gone in a New England Patriots uniform. Now, the last signing to cover here is Romeo Doubs. He signed for 4 years, $80 million. Now, listen, New England fans, you're going to love this guy. And I don't even think he's close to his ceiling, personally. Romeo Doubs is a guy who moves the chains. And that is what we need. We need to pick up first downs. Did you watch the Super Bowl? Picking up a first down for the New England Patriots was like pulling teeth. This guy Doubs, out of his 55 catches last year, 41 of them were for first downs. Get the ball in this guy's hands. He's versatile. He can beat you outside. Now, he's not a burner. But he can go up and grab the ball. He could also line up in the slot, which is where he's run 20 to 30% of his routes over his career. And he's also a known contested catch guy, which makes him a great red zone target. What you'll love even more, though, and hear me on this one, what you'll love even more is that in 4 postseason games, Doubs has 20 catches, 2 touchdowns, and 18.7 yards per catch. 18.7. This is a guy who in the postseason is making big plays. Not short pickups. Big plays. That's what we need. And on top of that, he's being paid like a mid-tier wide receiver too, but has higher upside. I fully believe this is a guy who can be a wide receiver one. And he's making just under $20 million a year. What a deal. What a deal. Truthfully, this is the guy I wanted. Alex Pierce was a decent option. He's led the league, I think, the last 2 years in yards per catch. He's a burner. They're about the same size. But for 30 plus, I don't know. It's a lot of money. You know, the Colts gave him 30 a year, I believe, and because of that, they had to move on from Pittman. That doesn't make him any better. And I don't think that would have made us much better than what we are right now with Romeo Doubs. Guys, you're going to love this kid. You're going to love him in a Patriots uniform. You're going to love the big safety helmet that they wear. I don't know what it's called. But this guy's going to be a phenomenal Patriot. I give this signing a B+. Welcome to New England. Well, that about wraps it up for sports. And now, for the freestyle element of Freestyle Friday, most of you who know me know that I love the movies. I love going to the cinema. And you know that I am jacked for the Oscars this Sunday. So on that note, very often I will leave you all with movie reviews from the past week. And we begin with our first ones today. First, the new movie War Machine on Netflix is about a war machine wreaking havoc on U.S. military service members. The movie is a cinematic version of doom scrolling. It's got gore, it's got war, alien tech, and plenty of mindless action. But what it doesn't have is much of a story, or really any real character development. You never really learn where the machine came from, who's controlling it, or really why it's even there. And the ending, without giving too much away, relies on asphalt, which is ironic considering we can't fix a single pothole in the state of Massachusetts. But if you want pure popcorn action, it works. Just don't expect depth. I give it a 65 with a glass of wine. Now, my next is my biggest disappointment, and that is Scream 7. This movie should have been ghosted. It had the perfect opportunity to pass the franchise to a younger cast and reestablish the future of Scream, honestly. Instead, there's basically zero character development, and Ghostface suddenly feels like the world's strongest man or woman, rather than just like a slasher villain, you know? And it sucks because the beginning of the movie was actually real promising. I mean, the kill in the beginning was next level. But the biggest problem, beyond the weird AI tech stuff that the movie tries to push, the biggest problem is the reveal. And for a franchise built on clever reveals, it's a huge miss. Honestly, my score is 25. Don't bother watching it. Don't pay to watch it. Don't watch it when it comes out on streaming platforms. In fact, never watch it. You'll be happy you didn't. Lastly, is Pixar's Hoppers. Hoppers really starts with a simple idea. Talking to animals. Who wouldn't want to talk to animals? Who's never dreamt of being able to talk to animals? Don't you wish you could talk to your dog, your cat, any animal? That idea is really the charm of Pixar's 30th film. Now, it's not top tier. You know, it's not Toy Story. It's not Finding Nemo. But the characters, the beavers, the gecko, the bears, even the crazy bugs, the bugs are hilarious, are really a lot of fun. It's goofy, it's a little wacky, but it still delivers those classic, Pixar emotional moments. And the message about respecting nature and sharing our world with it is great not only for the kids, but honestly, for us all. My score on this movie is an 85. Definitely take your kids to see this one. Hell, if you went by yourself to see it, I wouldn't be mad either. Now, I wanted to talk Eversource, but the powers that be have forced me to keep my mouth shut. So on that note, screw them anyways. They are criminals, and so are the ones running the state. That's all for the 91 Network today. Thank you again for tuning in. I hope you had a blast, because I sure did. Catch me again next week for the Monday Express. But until then, my friends, 91 out.